Our story begins at Mick's Diners, one of the best places to grab some food. Who wouldn't want to grab some nice turkey legs, some chicken, maybe some frog legs as well? Okay, nah, I ain't gonna lie. If y'all eating frog legs, we definitely got to talk because how the heck do y'all even eat that? But this is where we actually see two people having a date, a long awaited one. This being Conrad and Yori. See, they've been going steady for about a couple months right now, and well, one's a police chief, one's a underground superhero. Crazy, right? But considering the demons are now in New York, everything's kind of changed. So this is how the conversation is going. I'm finally glad we got to do this. Yeah, me too. I've been looking forward to actually seeing you. Finally getting to sit down again and talk feels great. And yours like, yeah, obviously. But so is this a regular business thing or no. I actually came to, talk to you, how you're doing, how's everything going with the police chiefing and all that. How's your, I guess you could say your partnership with Spiderman. And your explains that, well, recently they just took down Kingpin and stuff, and so now they're wondering if maybe putting him in jail was a bad idea. To which Conrad listens as she explains that with all that power now gone, it's just gonna probably cause more. And with the fact that Kingpin's out of the way, they've actually noticed that the inner demons have been moving in on their territory. By the way, how's your search been going lately? To which she says, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I don't really have any issues. Well, too much. Besides, Gargan's locked away, so he's not gonna cause any problems anytime soon, right?" To which she says, "We can only hope. I understand it hasn't been the same for you since your mom died to Gargan, but I just want to let you know we also tried to make sure JJ had some repercussions, but apparently that evidence was long gone, apparently." To which she says, okay, I guess that makes sense, huh? So, after their dinner, they get something, obviously during their dinner, they get something to eat. They begin chatting up, sharing stories, and well, now it's time for them to go. But, believe it or not, considering they haven't seen each other in a while, Conrad asks her, my place is not too far from here. And Yuri simply smiles at him and says, really? On a work night? To which he says, I got plenty of time and plenty of stamina. Care to take it? To which Yuri just goes along with him, and obviously we know where that goes. Now, we would definitely have to fast forward, I'll probably say, an hour later. 30 minutes for cheeks, 30 minutes to get to your destination. And we would start off in the house. Still kind of late at night, but, not too late where it's like 12 o'clock or in the middle of the night and stuff. So, this is where Conrad knocks on the door, and the person who opens it is Aunt May. And she's like, oh my god, you've grown. You look so handsome. Peter, your friend's here. To which Peter comes downstairs and he's like, Con? Dude, where have you been for so many years? Into which both of them catch up as, Aunt May, bakes her cookies or something like that. And I already know, if Aunt May cookies probably do taste good, I ain't gonna lie. She probably know how to whip something up. Y'all know how old folks be cooking. They be cooking up that good stuff. But this is where they actually do talk to each other. And keep in mind, no one knows the other. They don't know the alter ego of the others. Spider-Man doesn't know that Conrad is Saberwolf, and Saberwolf doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man and stuff like that. So this is them just talking to each other casually as friends. And pretty much, I think the conversation would be them just, catching up like any other group of friends would. Talking about how they've been gone or away from each other for so long, but yet it still feels like it feels just like yesterday. Which, by the way, if you have those kind of friends, keep them. Keep them, by the way. I encourage y'all to keep those kind of friends. And so this is where he and Pete, catch up. Pete talks about him and MJ meeting again after, well, I guess you could say after she got into a little bit of situation. They just bumped into each other. Two was like, oh, so you two ever getting back together? Into which Peter's like, well, I'm not sure just yet, but for right now, no. To which she's like, great, she's not good for you. She's probably dating some guy named Paul as we speak. To which Pete looks at him like, really? I'm just saying, MJ's not the best for you. I mean, girls probably nagging and complaining like she did back in high school. And even at the university. Come on now. To which Peter rolls his eye and says, all right, whatever. But again, how are you doing? You ever spoke to your extended family? To which he's like, nah, I haven't spoke to my aunt and uncle since mom died, really. I've been kind of keep it to myself, you know? I probably could reach out, but maybe I'll just pop by for an unexpected visit and hopefully everything kind of just goes smoothly, you know? To which Pete's like, yeah. And if you ever want, you can maybe stop by Feast. To which he kind of goes, yeah, I probably won't do that. To which he says, why? And he's like, oh, no reason at all. It's just that I don't really want to be around, you know, people that are just less fortunate. It just makes me feel bad about everything. By the way, he's lying. But with that being said here, he and Pete pretty much dap each other up and go to separate ways. However, so as Conrad is simply walking down the street, he actually gets a message over his phone. And he's like, ugh, what do you guys want now? And so he kind of looks at it for a bit. And he's like, all right. No, I haven't seen Gargan yet. Am I going to kill him? Maybe. And so as he's pretty much texting this group here, he then kind of just picks up a phone call from one of his friends. He's like, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm definitely in New York. Yeah, I'm still going to take you up on your offer. I just got to finish some stuff down here. It's just an investigation I've been working on for a while, all right? Besides, let me know if you guys can also get some more evidence for me. What does she need? Oh, that. Who has it? The demons. Oh, you don't say. All right, bet. I'll catch you guys later. And this is where we would pretty much close out or we pretty much would pan over to his phone as he's looking. He's like, oh, shoot, she texted me. So this is where he begins texting, says, yeah, I'll get your stolen page. See you soon. And, well, pretty much texts her forward. And this is where we see the Midnight Sun group chat. And so, with that being said here, both Pete and Conrad both go, I guess you could say, on their alter ego or into their alter egos. Him finding Saberwolf, finding his apartment and simply transforming and leaping out of his, well, window and stuff like that. To which he even states to himself, he's got to find a better way to do that. And Spider-Man suiting up and heading towards a demon base that Mary Jane told him about. However, when he gets to the roof, he sees that it's already been discovered by somebody vicious. Someone was just ripped in half with both his sides scattered in different directions, in different areas of the building. Like, dear God, this dude was creative. The second dude he looks at has a hole torn through him. Not punched through him. I want y'all to listen. Torn through him. Like torn into him. All right? It's just grody and disgusting. And Pete sees the organ somewhere else. But the last dude, nah. That man ain't even got a head. Matter of fact, the head is somewhere else scattered across the ground and was simply smashed. So obviously no one's identifying him unless he's got his wallet. And Pete's like, what the heck could have done this? It's vicious and angry. So he goes into the building and he sees the inner demons scrambling, running around, and some of them falling back to actually maintain a safer and more secure position. However, it's not enough as the creature comes through, and it's a werewolf. To which Pete's like, okay. Never had one of these in New York before, so this ought to be, very interesting. And so the inner demons are torn through, limb from limb, bar for bar, okay? Sword for sword. Everything they throw at him means nothing. He slashes through one, guts the other, and bites through another. Then when bullets come in, they bounce off his skin and ricochet into different directions. Toad's like, oh, okay, a bulletproof werewolf. This ought to be great, but I gotta stop this. So Spider-Man leaps down, and as Saberwolf is about to finish off the last remaining demon, because again Spider-Man kind of realized a little too late that that he kind of got him. Spider-Man jaw checks him, sending him slightly back a bit. And keep in mind, Pete hit him pretty hard, and he's like, oh crap. To which Saberwolf laughs and is like, all right, kid, or all right, Spider-Man, my turn. And he beats Spider-Man pretty badly, viciously, unforgivingly, straight up combos this man in a martial arts like fashion, leaving Spider-Man bewildered, hurt, and discombobulated. He's no match for him. It's just bad. The speed, the durability, the strength, and the fact that he's a much better fighter than he is in a significant portion as well. And Pete's like, ugh, what? Who are you? To which he says, I'm Saberwolf. You know, I respect you, and that's why I'm not killing you. I don't kill heroes or innocents, only criminals. To which Spider-Man is like, that's too far. That's a line no one should be crossing. Doesn't matter if they're criminals. It matters if... Then this is where Saber cuts him off. Shouldn't it matter that innocent people get to sleep safely at night? Shouldn't it matter that people shouldn't have to worry about monsters like this? These guys killed innocent people. Mind controlled them into offing themselves. And you think that's gonna keep the city safe? By just locking them up and then they'll just break out like it's a next week thing? To which Spider-Man's like, it doesn't have to be like that. They can change. They can be redeemed. To which Saber was like, yeah, maybe some of them, if they have their criminal track records pretty soft, if you will. But stay out of my way, and I won't harm you. Or don't. It'd be nice to see how many times I could break a spider. And Saberwolf leaves with the container that he needed. And well, Pete swings to MJ, broken, beaten, slashed up, and hurt. And MJ doesn't even hesitate, doesn't even ask why Peter is here. And this is where she actually begins to, help him, stitch him up, be able to, patch him up and everything, get everything needed to done. And she asks him, okay, you're good now. What happened? But this isn't where we end off. Saberwolf will be at the docks meeting two Midnight Sun members, Scarlet Witch and Magic. To which he simply smiles at them, saying, great to see you guys again. To which she's like, likewise. Did you get it, by the way? We really need that for what's coming. To which Saberwolf's like, oh, yeah. Here's the container. And she's like, you didn't read it, did you? Why would I read the basic page of a dark magic book, and it's not even complete to begin with? Surprised the demons even got their hands on this, but I guess I'll be doing a further investigation on that in the future. To which he hands it over to them and simply states, by the way, considering you are one of the most powerful people I know, be careful with this. I don't need you to overload yourself or pretty much crush that little significant spirit you have left. To which Wanda laughs and simply states, don't worry about it. I'm more than enough to handle the Darkhold. But as for you, make sure you find what you're looking for here. And the Abbey is still open to you. To which he's like, yeah, I know. I'm still gonna join you guys, no matter what. But look, I just gotta finish this here. It's personal. And I gotta see how much my soul can take at the end of it. And so, that's going to leave it off here, guys. What is Saberwolf planning to do? How is Spider-Man going to combat him? And will both friends come to realize who the other one is? I mean, sure, eventually it's going to happen. But what do you think their reactions are going to be, knowing that they've been fighting each other the whole time? Peace.